Fairbanks Focus Alaska View is brought to you by the University of Alaska Fairbanks, Alaska's first university, and the Fairbanks Economic Development Corporation, bringing economic development to interior Alaska.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us at Fairbanks Focus and Alaska View. I'm Nanette Pearson, and today I am being joined by Eric Knox. Eric, thanks for joining us today. I know you are part of Fairbanks First, and you're here to tell us about a very special party bus. This is the second annual one. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, Fairbanks First, we're a buy local program, so we advocate for a 10% shift in consumer expenditure. Our goal is to get people to shop less online and more in Fairbanks. Spend that money local because it means more spent here than it does spent online. And so the Party Local Shopping Bus that you were pretty much talking about there, it is a way for us to get people to shop local for the holidays. So basically, we get a large amount of people together who support buying local, who share similar interests, such as buying local, riding the party bus, and spending as much money, as they want with local businesses.
Excellent. And that's happening the first two Saturdays in December, is that right?
That's correct. We have a bus for December 1st and December 8th.
Okay.
There's going to be a boarding zone in the Sadler's building at 11 o'clock. People will muster there. There's going to be live music from West Valley Jazz Band. So that's going to be great, and I hear they play some really awesome holiday music. So we're going to kick in the party bus with some holiday cheer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And so people can start gathering at Sadler's around 11. Now I heard something about food as well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we're going to have some food for the riders. There's going to be food catered by Julia Solstice Cafe.
Oh, wonderful.
So there's going to be there's some muffins, holiday treats, some gluten-free treats. She's great at making those, so we wanted to make sure we have her on board with us with the idea of those treats.
So are they going to be serving the food on the bus, or is that something that you do at Sadler's?
Well, it'll start off at Sadler's, but we'll definitely carry that food on the bus with us because we know there's going to be some pretty hungry people on the bus. Anyone that's 21 and up that rides the bus can get complimentary adult beverages such as wine and beer and things like that.
Oh, awesome. And what time, you said it all starts around 11 a.m. at the Sadler's building.
Yeah.
And that's the 1st and the 8th?
Yeah, it starts off at 11 at the Sadler's building. From anyone who shows up, any rider that shows up from 11 to 11:30 will receive a door prize ticket where we'll be giving away something for free. So you'll be entered into that. And then they board the bus at noon. And they'll return somewhere around 5 o'clock. We don't really have an exact time, but it's going to be roughly around 5 o'clock when we're returning back to the Sadler building.
Okay.
But every rider on the bus will be entered into a drawing for a chance to win $100 in free local gift certificates.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, even a bigger chance to save, and we want to push that idea of shopping local for the holidays.
Well, and you guys are offering some really wonderful discounts as well, shopping locally. So what are some of those discounts that I've been hearing about?
Oh, great. Well, let's see.
If you're taking the bus, is my understanding, right?
Well, if you're riding the bus, what we're going to do is we're going to we created a packet of coupons, and these are coupons from local businesses. Some of these businesses aren't on the route, but it's a great way for them to actually say, hey, come shop with us or whatnot. So we create this packet, they get a packet. In the packet, for example, 907 Organic Hair Care is going to be including coupons, as well as Johnson Family Farms, Sip and Stream Tea, Frank's Menswear, and Loose Moose Cafe. There'll be more as the time comes closer, but that's what they're going to get initially. And then when they go to some of the stops, there's also going to be individuals offering discounts as well. So when we look at, for instance, the College Mall, you have Gulliver Books. They're going to be offering 10% discount on their books and their cafe and things like that.
Oh, that's great.
As well as Enchanted Forest Toys, they're going to be offering $20 for your purchase of $100 or more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what are some of the places that the buses are going? I understand you have, is it 4 different routes?
Yeah, there's 2 different routes, and there's 4 stops on each route. So when we look at for example, the December 1st stop, the first stop is going to be the Bentley Mall. Bubbly Brew is going to be offering a discount there, as well as Brazil Nuts. They're going to be there, and they're going to be offering a discount too. And I'm sure there's going to be a few other locations that may be interested or will be offering a discount at that particular location.
Well, I just love the fairies at Brazil Nuts. The
Yeah,
place is great.
there we go. Yeah. The person that owns that, she's really great.
Yeah, Cindy. She's pretty wonderful.
Yeah. And so we're looking at like the second stop there is this Toy Quest, and then there's the College Mall, the third stop. Fourth stop, Santa Claus House. And the Santa Claus House, they're going to be offering a discount too. They haven't given us the discount yet, but soon we'll have that, and all those updates will be on our website at fairbanksfirst.com.
Well, and the idea of getting even just a ride out to Santa Claus House that you didn't have to drive there yourself is is pretty appealing.
Yeah.
So if people are wanting to, go send those letters out to their family, because I know Santa Claus can send a letter to your kids or your cousins. That's pretty wonderful. And so that's just the first.
That's just the first bus. Yeah. So when we take a look at the second bus, let's see. The first stop there is going to be College Mall. And again, that's with Sipping Stream Tea, Gulliver Books, Enchanted Forest, Toys. There's Beaver Sports over there as well, and a few other locations too. That's the first stop, and they're going to be offering similar discounts to the stop on the third stop on the December 1st bus. So when we're looking at the second stop, we're going to the Tenaya Valley Farmers Market Bazaar.
Oh.
And that is a stop where there's a ton of local businesses. So people will have the chance to get around and do some holiday shopping there, and then we'll get on the bus, and then we'll go right on over to the Great Alaska Bowl Company, and they're offering every rider $10 in bowl bucks to shop with them.
Oh, that's cool. Is there any minimum with that, or is it just $10?
Let's see. It's going to be
top.
You'll get the $10 certificate, and it's going to be good towards personalization, and any bowl that you purchase there at the store.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
That's very cool.
And then for the last stop, we're taking them over to the Prospectors, and that's going to be a pretty fun stop. Everybody liked that stop last year, and so we want to get them down to that location again.
Well, and as Fairbanksans, we all could use new socks and warmer gear from the Prospector.
That is true.
Well, and that's great. I mean, like I said, just driving to and from North Pole is a pretty penny in gas. How much do people have to spend to get on the bus?
Well, to get on the bus, tickets are $35. Okay. If you're a Fairbanks First member, tickets are $25. Any event that we have that we do as Fairbanks First, we always discount it to Fairbanks First members.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's plenty of opportunities to save, and even beyond the idea of this bus, because we do have a membership aspect of our program, which allows people to save at over 35 different locations.
Oh wow, and that's year round.
Yeah, and so you get what you do is you get a card like this, and you take it to the locations, and you just shop at those locations, and they'll apply a discount to your purchase. All of our discounts, Fairbanks First discounts, are available online or through our Fairbanks First book.
Awesome. And if someone wanted to sign up to become a member, how would they go about doing that?
Well, they can. Usually we have booths all year round. We try to have booths out. Try to build our presence within the community and try to be a constant reminder that it's important to shop local and things like that. So sometimes they can find us at the booth, and our booth locations are listed online at fairbanksfirst.com, or they can visit our office at 301 Cushman Street.
Okay, and is that the third floor up there?
That is the third floor. We're across from the Alaska Communications building and the building that says Bryce on the side of it.
Okay. Yep. Awesome. And so that's just, and how much is a membership?
Membership's $25.
Okay.
It includes a free T-shirt. How cool is that? Everybody loves a free T-shirt.
Well, and that's $25, and then that automatically saves you $10 on the party bus.
Yeah.
And then sounds like countless discounts year round.
Yeah. Our discounts change twice a year, but having that Fairbanks First card, is like having coupons in one location, all in one card. So this is a powerful card, and as the program grows, this card becomes massive. Massive savings are in this card.
Well, and what are some of the businesses that participate in Fairbanks First?
Oh, great. Well, there's a lot of them. let's see. We can go down let's look at well, right now we have over 65 businesses on board. But
well,
in
we don't
general,
have to list all of them.
well, for example, there's Alaska Golden Gems, fine jewelry and design.
Oh, wow.
They're located downtown. We also have Fireweed Consignment Boutique. We were talking about that a little bit earlier in our conversation.
I love that place.
Yeah. A great place to find clothing. Yeah.
Oh, and I found great pair of boots, gifts for my daughter, all kinds of wonderful things there.
Yeah, and then something cool for men. It's like we have Frank's Menswear. They're on they're business members of ours as well.
And they're downtown there too, right?
Yes, they are.
Pretty much across the street from you guys.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And then we have a few print shops on board as well. Dateline Digital Printing is
cool.
definitely a business member of ours.
So if I wanted to get like calendars made, would they be able to give me some discounts if I was a Fairbanks First member?
Well, yeah, if they're offering a discount, then you would have access to that. And again, you would just have to take your card to the location, and then they'll apply the discount to your purchase. But you have to make sure that your membership is up to date.
And how often do you have to renew that membership?
Well, membership goes for a year. Right now, if you decide to become a member, because we're rolling out a new expiration date with our membership plan, your membership would be good till January 1st of 2014.
Oh, wow.
So that means that you have access to savings for a while.
Well, and it's like I get 2 months for free with my annual membership if I get it now.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
So, it's a great deal. And the card, paying for that membership, it pays itself back. And all the money that we make with our membership goes right back into advocating for that shift, that 10% shift in consumer expenditure. Our goal is to get people shopping in Fairbanks, cut back less online.
Well, and like you were saying, any dollar spent online, 0 of those dollars come back to our community. And I know that's primary for Fairbanks First, is to keep that money here in the community, keep our stores open, and keep people shopping locally. Because if we're not shopping locally, those stores just aren't going to be there anymore.
Yeah, and that's true. And shopping online can be a compulsion for a lot of people. They get so much into the habit of shopping online. For example, there's a young lady I talked to, and she told me that she buys her water online. And I say, wow, it gets to that point for some people. And what we're saying is, you can find those things local. Shop local as much as possible. We want those businesses to stay here in Fairbanks. What would Fairbanks look like if we didn't have local businesses?
Right. Well, and even the larger stores that come in, would it, if we're not shopping at them, they're not going to stay here if they can't make a profit. So.
Exactly. All these stores, they give jobs to Fairbanks, and when people have those jobs, they have insurance they have to pay, they have mortgages they have to pay, and other bills related to such. And so that money that they make from being employed goes into the community, and it circulates a little bit more here in Fairbanks than just going to an online store and just spending that money there. It's just out of our community, and so we want to plug some of those leaks.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think that the party bus is a great way to do it.
Party bus is excellent.
That sounds like a fun way to go shopping for the day. So yeah, and I really appreciate you being on today. And again, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our viewers at home?
Well, if you're interested in buying Party Local shopping bus tickets, you can pick up the tickets at Gulliver's Books or Homegrown Market. Tickets are $35 for non-Fairbanks First members and $25 for Fairbanks First members.
Awesome. Thank you again so much for being here. And again, if you're looking to go shopping, think about the 1st of December or the 8th of December and head on out to Sadler's by about 11:30. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Nanette Pearson, and today my guest is George from the Reindeer Research up at the UAF. And George, tell me again your last name.
Aguiar.
Aguiar?
Yep.
Because I always want to put an L in there. I know it's not in there. So
Yep, sure
Aguiar.
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about the research station up at UAF. Now I know it's next to the Botanical Gardens, and I see it when I drive by. But tell us a little bit more about what happens there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I've been with the program for about 8 years now. I started off as a student and worked my way up into a research professional position. And so the program started in the mid 80s. My boss, Greg Finstad, has been with the program since the beginning as basically as a way to help the reindeer industry. The reindeer industry, reindeer herding is basically on the Seward Peninsula near Nome, and there's about 15 million acres of rangeland there, and it's set aside for reindeer herding. So that's where it all started. And our program is involved in various research aspects, all with one goal, supporting the reindeer industry, supporting the red meat production potential in Alaska, and anything that we can to assist in that.
So the herds that live out on the Seward Peninsula, are those connected to the herds that are there at UAF, or are those just?
Technically, they are. Technically, those are that's a BIA, Bureau of Indian Affairs herd, and it's an indicator herd. So it's a herd that was set up by the reindeer herders through the reindeer research program to do research that supports and promotes what they're doing on the Seward Peninsula. So we have a very close relationship, especially my boss with the reindeer herders, and we have annual meetings, spend time out out in the field, and kind of propose what we'd like to do, and they certainly have a lot of say in what we do here at the university.
Awesome. And I know you were at Food Day, and that's where I met you.
Right.
We were talking a little bit about what some of the things that you guys research are,
Okay,
and I was really surprised. I didn't know that that's what, because I know that we all want to eat local, we all want to eat better meat,
Right.
But I had no idea that you guys were actually measuring, when the seasonal part of collecting reindeer versus what you're feeding them versus that.
Yep. No, we do. I mean, like I said before, all of our research is somehow linked to the industry, to production, and it's all applied research. And so, food. I mean, that's what we're all about: is producing meat, producing red meat for Alaska in particular. And reindeer meat is very high quality. It's higher protein than beef. It's lower fat than beef. You start looking at the polyunsaturated, the saturated fats. I mean, across the board, I like beef. I grew up with cattle, and that was my first 24 years of life was dairy farming and beef. But if you compare reindeer to beef, just quality-wise, I mean, it's superior on a chemical level, proximate analysis, all that stuff. So, very tender for some reason, very tender, very high in nutrients, and so it's good stuff. And so the research that we do is comparing, different types of production methods, different types of feed. How does that affect meat quality? Different types of storage, processing. How does that affect meat quality? So on the Seward Peninsula right now, my boss is more involved than I am, but we have a mobile slaughter plant there. There's a processing plant possibly coming, and I mean right now the big push is to be able to commercialize and be able to get stuff from the Seward Peninsula to the rest of Alaska, to the rest of the country. I mean, and it can even go bigger than that. Right now the challenge is not the demand, it's the supply. I mean, people will pay top dollar for reindeer across the country, and in Alaska they'll pay good money for reindeer. We've done a few projects with that as well.
Well, I know you guys are looking at that too, as making it more of a sustainable meat source for Alaskans as well.
Right.
So, and I think that's a great part of the research too. And I was really fascinated by some of the things that you had there at Food Day. Like I said, some of the elements of because when you're buying your meat at the store, you don't always think about, well, was it slaughtered in the spring or was it slaughtered in the fall, and how that affects those things. You're telling me that you guys actually have super tasters or special.
Yeah, it's part of the meat quality. The food analysis is you have taste testers, and we've actually had them. Eva Wickland has worked with us. She's a meat scientist. She's from Sweden. She's worked all over the world with all kinds of different deer species, in particular reindeer. And she actually was involved with training a group of people. One of the projects we did And it's just, you teach that you standardize kind of this group of 5 or 6 people to taste and to test for certain attributes, whether it's tenderness or, off flavor or, juiciness. You come up with these attributes. And so this taste panel is taught to measure those and put them on paper, and then you compare it to other types of meat, different treatments, what have you done to the meat. And so, that's a real part of science and food science and testing.
Yeah, it's to taste it.
It's to taste it, yeah, and to be able to put it down on paper and to be able to quantify it. So it's pretty fun when you start seeing that stuff.
Well, and you guys supplied some of the meat for the actual food day event itself too, didn't you?
Our program did, our program is part of the School of Natural Resources and Agricultural Sciences. So we're basically, part of the ag school, and so we certainly did provide. And also from our Palmer farm, we provided meat from beef from our Palmer farm. So, But I was going to touch on, you had mentioned, I guess, being sustainable and all that. One of the big things is we're about 15 million acres on the Seward Peninsula, and it's forage and vegetation, and no other livestock can really capitalize on. And so, these guys can turn tundra into protein, and there's not many animals, there's not any animals that are, livestock and that are domesticated that can do that. And so it's pretty amazing. You see what they're eating out there, and just the challenges that they have and the weather conditions, and somehow those herds can thrive out there. And so that's kind of the biggest push I see for them as Alaskan livestock, is they can deal with the climate and not require all kinds of inputs from the outside, bringing in all kinds of grains and feeds and watering stations. I mean, you don't have to do anything.
Right, because they'll eat the snow.
They'll eat the snow, yep. They'll capitalize on the forage that grows out there, eat stuff that other livestock can't, and their livers can deal with some of these toxins and issues that would be issues for other animals. So, it's
cool.
Good.
And real quick, what's
Yeah.
the difference between a caribou and a reindeer? I bet you get that all the time.
That is the most common question, and sometimes you get people that are pretty convinced that there is no difference. From a biological, you look at them, they're different subspecies. They have, and you could. There's different sources out there. 3,000 to 8,000 years ago, they were domesticated. Some say before the horse even. And in domestication, there's certain traits that you pick for, and animals have to have these certain traits, or else they cannot be domesticated. So, they have to be able to be. They have to be socialized animals. They have to work well with humans. They have to put on. They have to be efficient at meat. How much meat? At their. Turning feed into meat, basically, and so and there's a few other ones, but they've done this with reindeer, and what you have is an animal that you can work around, that you can feed with feedstuffs that you can purchase, and you have a domestic animal. So some of the traits that have came along with that is reindeer actually come into estrus and calve about a month earlier than caribou. So you're getting reindeer hitting the ground as early as March, end of March.
Oh, wow.
And that's just to take advantage of the short growing season that we do have. So you can have animals that you basically can slaughter at 4 or 5 months of age. And that's all part of this process that's taking place. They have a higher muscle to bone ratio, the ones that we have here in Alaska. They're the Chukutkan breed, so they are a meat animal, the ones that you see here. You start seeing their noses will shorten, their forehead will get they'll get more of that dish face, more of that kind of youthful look, like a dog compared to a wolf.
Okay.
So that's some of the traits.
Less pointy.
Yep, exactly. And so there's a lot of these just little. They're usually shorter and thicker. Females will generally grow a little bit bigger antlers than female reindeer than caribou. So those are just some of the characteristics. One of the big ones is they don't migrate. They stay in one place. They're sedentary animals. They will chase a group of caribou off, but they won't on their own just take off. They'll actually overgraze if you don't move them where they need to get moved. And that's very important in reindeer herding. You don't want animals that are constantly running away from you. And when they herd together. They herd in big groups, where caribou kind of go all in different directions, still in a general direction, but they don't.
More close-knit.
The reindeer will run together, and then they'll just mill around in a circle like this once you kind of get them where you need them to get to. So, and just from working with them, working on the Seward Peninsula, you bring in these animals. There's thousands of them, and I've rarely seen people get hurt. You bring them, free-range animals for a year. You bring them in, and somehow people are able to work with them. You're able to catch them up, vaccinate, whatever the herder needs done, and people do not get hurt that often. If you brought in a bunch of caribou, I guarantee you would have some serious issues. Animals getting hurt, people getting hurt, capture myopathy, from what I understand, happens with a lot of the deer species. So.
Well, and I hear that it's the female reindeer that keep their antlers until later, right? So,
yep.
So all of Santa's reindeers would have had to be girls, is what I hear. Is that
I can't comment on that. We always, our reindeer. We do not have Santa's reindeer. We're all meat production, and we always say right from the beginning, these are not Santa's reindeer. Nobody get any ideas. But reindeer will, the bulls will drop them in January, December, January. Some will even drop in November, and then the cows generally will follow in March, April,
oh wow!
Even
so they'll
May.
Keep their horns all the way till spring.
They'll keep the antlers till spring, and usually, if a female drops her antlers earlier than March, April, it means she wasn't bred. Usually, they'll keep them, a week or two until after they calve. So that's kind of they keep their antlers for about a week or two, protect their calves, protect their food source. I don't know. I mean, there's some different theories on that, but yeah. So they definitely lose them at different times of the year. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us on. To close, I just want to tell you a real quick joke. Maybe you've heard it before. It's one of those tourist jokes. So when do the caribou around here turn into moose? Oh, they do that in the fall. We call them caraboos. It's one of the jokes I've heard there. So.
Well, I have never heard that one, but yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on and talking to us about the reindeer herds there, and pretty exciting stuff. And how would people get in touch with you guys if they wanted to volunteer?
They could go to our website, which I don't.
Oh, can they find it on UAF website? Through School of Agriculture?
Certainly. Yeah, the School of Natural Resources and Agricultural Sciences, they could find it through their Reindeer Research Program. All our contact info is there. We do a lot of work with volunteers, students. We do hire students occasionally. That's definitely always opportunities with that. But yeah, certainly we have a very...
And 4-H too.
4-H, we do work with. We've been working with 4-H over the last several years, and that's kind of taken off again. So, any interest in that, certainly inquire. We'd be happy to talk to anybody about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on the air. We really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having us.
All right. Cool. Thanks for joining us again here on Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Nanette Pearson.